So as usual, in my world at least, it's 30 minutes past midnight. And I'm leaving for Crete in Greece tomorrow morning. My suitcase is not fully packed. Honestly, I'm getting there. Also, I'm taking two, so I have like a big one, and I'm also allowed to have like a carry-on one, so this is smaller, and then I'm also having a bag. Yes, I'm leaving only 12 days. Do I need all of this? No, but also like I'm allowed to take that much stuff, so I will take full advantage of it. Honestly, I don't think I'm that extreme. I only have like 2 pairs of heels, flip-flops, that's it. Then I'm taking walking shoes. I don't know where they are in my other suitcase. I do have like 4 toiletry bags. Maybe that's a little bit excessive, but one is just full of sunscreen because I burn a lot, and so I need that. These are like my regular day clothes, some swimsuits. Don't worry, that's not the brand. I don't shop there. Stop fast fashion. And then in my other one, I have like all my going out dresses, like night out dresses, some sports clothes. I don't know if I'll really use these, we'll see. And then like the sports shoes and towels and bags. And this is gonna be my carry-on, where I have like the only one sweater I'm packing of the trip, my books, and then all my work stuff I still need to pack. I still have a few things I need to fit in there, but honestly, by my standards, I'm not doing that bad. So I'll finish everything up and see you tomorrow. We made it at the airport, and now we have 1 hour until boarding. So honestly, I've never been this early, I think. There was literally nobody, so. Well arrived in Heraklion. We did a little break to go to the hotel and get some food, like a little snack, and now we're going to visit the city center and go grab something to eat. We made it to Knossos Palace. It is very hot, but it is very beautiful. This was the palace of King Minos, and where lied the Minotaur. I don't know how you pronounce that. It's like animal that was half bull, half man. So this palace dates back to around the 1900s before Christ, and it was really considered to be the center of the Minoan civilization. And the palace is often linked to Greek mythology. Like I said earlier, the story of King Minos, I learned to pronounce it now, and the Minotaur that was imprisoned in the labyrinth. So the palace was excavated in the 1900s by Sir Arthur Evans, who was a British archaeologist, and he uncovered large parts of the ruins. But he didn't stop there. He also decided to rebuild sections the way he imagined they look. So that's why as we were walking around, we could see like these bright red columns and these concrete walls. I mean, I guess Evans thought he was helping people picture the past, but many archaeologists today criticize him for going too far, because what you see when you walk around the palace isn't really the original, it's his version of history. So we were both a little bit disappointed with that, because we felt that it kind of like took us out of this whole historical site, because there's just these like concrete and like red paint. It just did not feel authentic. Even when you visit, so you get to visit the throne room, or I guess the so-called throne room. We had to wait in line to see it. And Evans claimed that this was the actual throne of the king, but that's just his interpretation. Actually, many experts today actually doubt that and say that we can't be sure what the room was really used for. So it was kind of funny to see everything that he interpreted and what was potentially the truth. I wish they had showed us like a movie or something that explained all of this, because we kind of figured that out through our own research, but it would have been good to have like a little bit of a warning. So the visit was mixed feelings, I guess. Of course, we're standing in a place that's like over 3,000 years old, so that's really cool, but we couldn't help but feel a little bit disappointed. Now we are at the Archaeological Museum of Heraklion. Apparently it is the most important thing to see in the city. So the Archaeological Museum of Heraklion is one of the most important museums in Greece, the entire country, not just Crete. It brings together artifacts from across Crete, but it's most famous for its huge collection from the Minoans. So walking through the museum, we got to see everything from tiny household objects, which are actually my personal favorite things to look at. There was a bunch of gold jewelry pieces and beautifully painted pottery and stone vessels and weapons and objects that are just used or were used in everyday life, cooking pots, storage jars, tools, all of that. Those are the things that I like to see the most, because you can really imagine the way that people lived thousands of years ago. And it's so interesting to see the things that are similar to what we still have now and the things that are really different. And then you also see the murals and frescoes that covered the palaces, and the palace that we just saw earlier, and there's scenes of dancers and bull leaping and dolphins and all of that. And also what's really interesting, we came across a fresco of a figure that we had already seen at Knossos, and we don't really know if it represents a god, a priest, somebody, but it's one of the really well-known artworks. And for me, the highlight of this museum was the Phaistos disc, which is this clay disc, which honestly was much smaller than what I thought it was. And it has this mysterious symbols arranged around it, a language dating back for more than 3,000 years. And what's really crazy is that to this day, no one has been able to fully decipher the language. Overall, the museum is great because it puts everything into context. While you walk through the palace, you see the ruins, but here you see the actual art and the tools and the objects that people used in their daily lives, and it just makes the whole civilization feel a lot more real. We have now left Heraklion and are at Agios Nikolaos, more on the eastern side of Crete. And honestly, it is so beautiful right now because Heraklion, it's super important to do. It's the capital of Crete, and it's important to do historically. There's lots of nice historical, cultural things to see, but it isn't very beautiful. The city isn't just very nice to walk around. There's not many beautiful things to look at. However, here it is so beautiful. We're right by the sea, so we just have absolutely incredible views, and our hotel is really great as well. And we're staying here 3 days. Agios Nikolaos is super beautiful. So many beaches. We actually walked to one because most of them have a lot of people. Obviously, it's very crowded. And so we wanted to find one that was a little calmer. So we just followed this long path in order to find this beach, but it was really worth it. The water is so warm and the weather is so nice. We're in an apartment hotel, which means that we can do our own cooking, which we sometimes do, and we're always making Greek salads, except we also add pasta because we want them to be a little bit more filling. So we have cucumbers, tomatoes, feta cheese, onions, olives, and the pasta is cooking. Hello! So we're currently on a boat to go to Spinalonga, which was a leper colony, I think the most recent one in Europe. And so the boat is going to take us there, and we're also going to do a little tour of the surrounding islands. And I'm so excited to go to Spinalonga because I'm actually reading a book on it currently, and I'm really looking forward to seeing what it looks like. It's funny because I don't usually drink Coke or Pepsi or soda in general, but when I walk around a lot, I'm so hot, so sweaty. Probably that's why I just crave it so much. So this is Spinalonga, which is a small island off the coast of Crete, and it has a very moving history. Like I was saying, it was known as Greece's last leper colony, and it's one of the most visited sites in Crete, actually. So leprosy is a chronic infectious disease that in the past was very feared and stigmatized. If you were found to be, if you're diagnosed, then you were isolated, torn away from your family, and it was, people thought it was highly contagious, which it was contagious, but not as much as people thought, and incurable, which at the time it was, because we hadn't discovered the cure yet. People who had leprosy were brought on this island to live out the rest of their days so that they wouldn't contaminate the people still in Crete that were healthy. And so Spinalonga itself was originally fortified by the Venetians in the 16th century, and then later it was occupied by the Ottomans. But then it was only in 1903 that the island became a leper colony. And people with the disease were sent here from all over Greece. And I think at most around 400 people lived on the island. And this is so crazy. The colony only closed in 1957. That is crazy to me. And it closed when a cure became widely available. And so at first, people thought that Spinalonga was a place to go and die. It was devastating. Families would be separated. The boat trip to the island was their last connection with the outside world. And then, they would go in and not have contact with anybody from their past life. But in reality, what we learned here was that life continued. The Greek state gave patients an allowance, and many actually were able to resume their professions, like teachers who had the disease kept teaching and craftsmen kept working. The island had a hospital, a school, a church, even a mayor elections and things like that. And people even met here and married. Some had children. Actually, it was kind of sad because if the children were healthy, they were taken back to Crete. And then people would adopt children as well that just came on the island and didn't have their parents there. So Spinalonga wasn't only about suffering, it was also about resilience and creating a community. So I thought that was really, really beautiful to see. For me, this was one of the highlights. I had read a book about it, so I felt like it was even more moving walking through the ruins, and I couldn't help but imagine what it must have been like for these people, knowing they were leaving their families forever, walking through the empty streets, just like picturing their lives once they got here and knowing that they would not return. Well, thinking at least that they would not return. They weren't sure that a cure was going to be found. And then when the colony was closed, the island was abandoned, and then over time it was looted. So this is why it's not like there's not much left today, even if it was pretty recent. So that was a really heartbreaking tour, but also a very powerful reminder of what humans could still do, even when they were like isolated and quote left to die. And then we headed off to Rethymno, where we stopped for lunch. And one thing I really loved in Crete is their sense of hospitality. At the end of every single meal, literally, they always brought us a little dessert. So usually something simple but delicious, often fruit, but this time it was like a layered panna cotta with crumble and caramel. It was really good. And then along with the dessert, they always gave us shots. So we didn't always drink them, especially at noon. We never drank them at noon, but it's such a sweet tradition, and it shows that people are like really welcoming here. Well, arrived in Rethymno, continuing our road trip of Crete. I think this is my favorite city so far. It's the most beautiful one with a nice mix of historical sites and like beautiful beaches. The thing is that it's super hot currently in Crete. So when we got here, we started visiting a little bit, but then we just got so hot. So we decided to go back to the hotel, chill at the pool a little bit, and now we're back out. It's like 7:30 p.m. and that way we can enjoy the city a little bit more. It's like maybe 30 degrees now, Celsius, and it's actually really, really nice to walk around. So we're just gonna walk around a little bit and then go to dinner. One of my favorite parts of staying in hotels are the breakfast buffets at the hotel. And this one was really good. So I always start with a savory plate and then I go for a sweet plate. So for my savory plate, I had some bread and a bread roll, some cheese, tomatoes and cucumbers, cheese puffs, a cheese pastry, a spinach puff pastry, and a fried egg. And then for my sweet plate, I had a slice of cake, like vanilla or yogurt cake, with a hazelnut homemade spread, plus some Greek yogurt, a bunch of fruit, a little donut, which I don't really know why I took that. It wasn't great. Then after that, we went to visit more of Rethymno, and the day before we had already explored the city center, And today we decided to head up to the fortress, which is called the Fortezza. It was built by the Venetians to defend the city from pirates and attacks by the Turks, the Ottomans. It's a massive structure that covers almost the entire hill above the town. And inside the walls, there used to be houses and churches and storage rooms for food and weapons. But in the end, the fortress never really fully protected the city. I mean, the Venetians made it big, yeah, but they didn't have enough soldiers or supplies to actually defend it. And so when the Ottomans attacked the fortress in the 1600s, they managed to capture it, and then the city fell under Ottoman control. And that's why, as well, you can see a large mosque with a huge dome that's still standing today. It's so interesting. It shows like the different layers of history. And then there's also this small theater, which is still used for concerts and performances during the summer. So that was really cute. And of course, the views from up here are amazing. You see the old town below, you see the coastline that stretches out on both sides, you have this endless blue of the sea, and it was really, really hot when we visited, but it was still very worth it. There was a lot of wind, so it was nice, and again, the view was incredible. We've just arrived in Plakias, which we are going to stay in just today. We're going to sleep here just one night, and the plan is to go to the beaches here because apparently they are incredible, and there's like one site where there's like a canyon. Apparently that's very pretty, so maybe we're going to do that too. Right now we're currently eating and we have the best view. Then once we're done, we're just gonna go back to the hotel before we explore a little bit more. Now it's time for my favorite time of the day, when you come home from being at the beach and tanning, reading in the sun, and you get all ready and it's time to go out to eat. And we have such a beautiful view from our hotel that we're currently staying at in Plakias. It's not perfect because there's the road right here, and from the pool you can see the road. So, okay, that's not perfect, but right here, it's so pretty. You can watch the sunset. For another breakfast buffet, this time my savory plate was tomato with beans, cheese, an omelet, a fried egg, some bread, and some orange juice. And then for my sweet plate, I had a slice of this like raspberry crumble pie, some different kinds of fruit like grape and watermelon, some dates, a chocolate donut, and of course some Greek yogurt, which is always so much better here in Crete, obviously. We've reached Chania, Crete. So this is the last region that we're going to be spending about 5 days in. So right now we are in the city center. As you can see behind me, the port is so beautiful. I hope you can see it from these images, but it's always so much prettier in person, of course. It's really nice because we're walking around pretty late, like around between 5 and 7 p.m. So the sun is not as scorching hot, and we can do so much more without needing like breaks. And so the plan for tonight is we're just gonna stroll around the city for a bit, and then we're going to have a little apéro on our balcony of our hotel and go to bed early because tomorrow we want to go to a beach that is super famous for its pink sand. However, it's called Elafonisi. However, this beach is super crowded, super popular, so many tourists, so we need to get there pretty early. So it's going to be a chill night tonight. We're currently walking to Elafonisi beach, which is one of the most popular ones in Crete. And you can tell because already we had to park like 1 kilometer away from the beach, and now we have to walk there, and there's already so many people. We try to get there early. They said to get there before 10, but apparently it's worth it because the sand is pink and the water is crystal blue. Like, look at all these people already, and we're still far away. To be honest, you kind of have to use your imagination for the pink sand. It's very subtle. Maybe you can see it on camera. My girl lunch is tacos. I love this lunch. To access some beaches in Crete, it's not always very straightforward. You sometimes have to walk quite a bit on paths that aren't the easiest. But that's exactly how you find these quieter, calmer spots like the one we went to here. So it was definitely worth the walk. Fewer people, more space, and like really nice experience. currently hiking the Imbros Gorges, and we were supposed to do the Samaria hike, which is really the well-known one in Crete, and it's super famous and it's super long though. I think it's like 16 kilometers, but this one is only 8 kilometers, much fewer people, so we're really all alone in this beautiful nature. So as somebody who doesn't like hiking, let's be honest, I thought that this was a good compromise. We're still doing a little hike. It's still very beautiful, and he's happy because we're hiking. Also, the good thing is that there aren't a lot of people here, so we can really appreciate the landscape. I feel like when there's too many people, you just see people and it's annoying. I think we're gonna enjoy it. Hello! So we're still in Chania, still in the same region. We just changed apartments. This one is right by the beach and we have a beachside view, so we thought it would be really nice. We're staying 2 nights here and look at our view. We're just about to have our little apéro in front of the beach. It's so beautiful. Look at the sun setting right here, and then the beach is right there. It's so nice. We're probably gonna like walk to it afterwards just to see. It's so close. And we have our little setup here, our little beers. It's super nice, super cute. For this trip, I would say I'm like 80% on vacation, but there's still some times where I have to edit. I try to get as far ahead as I could, so I had 1 video ready, but since I've been gone, well, I'm gonna be gone 2 weeks, well, like 13 days, I still needed another video, so I'm working on the edit for the video that you guys have already seen by the time this one comes out. But time went by so fast. I was editing and then all of a sudden we were like, oh, we are missing the beautiful sunset. One of the most famous beaches in Crete is Balos Beach. But to get there, it's a bit of an adventure. First, you have to drive. You have to drive about 30 minutes on this very bumpy dirt road that actually doesn't even feel like a road. And it's really funny because you're going to see goats that are casually walking along the road. Very, very cute. And then once you finally get past that, you have to park and you still have like a 20 to 30 minute walk down the beach. So going down is not that hard. Going up a little bit harder, but the hike is actually amazing because even before you reach the water, you already get these incredible views. The lagoon, you see the beautiful turquoise sea. It's like just so beautiful. For the last 2 days of our vacation, we just really wanted to relax, so we stayed in a nice hotel and spent most of the time by the pool and at the beach. I mean, of course, it was relaxing, Crete in general, but we still did quite a lot. We visited a lot of historical sites and we hiked a lot to go to the beaches. We drove about like 2 hours a day, since we mainly did a road trip around the island. So it was nice to just chill and not move and not do anything. And there is these great breakfast and dinner buffets, and it just felt really, really nice to end with chilling, swimming, eating, resting. And then, sadly, it was time for us to head back home to Heraklion to catch our flight. We did manage to have one last lunch in the city before leaving, but we were honestly just so happy with our vacation. We absolutely loved Crete, but of course, as always, a little sad to come back home. So I really hope that you enjoyed this video. It was a little bit different, but I thought it would still be interesting for you to see. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like it, subscribe it, and I'll see you on the next one. Bye!